he wants to say that the majority of Christians are not Christians because of childhood indoctrination, right? And he was trying to cite the World Religions Database, I think it's called, and so we looked up how many Christians there are, and it's like 2.3 billion, and only 2.7 million per year are converts to Christianity.
Okay, cool. So the claim wasn't that childhood indoctrination is the only method of religious indoctrination, right? No one's even arguing necessarily that like the rise of Christianity is due to child. Obviously, that doesn't. If there are no, you
That
have
is
to
the
be an
common
adult.
claim, John.
That can't be right because you have to be an adult to change. You can't like the children of a population have to be taught a religion from an adult. So they can't be converted. The children can't be
Evangelization.
indoctrinated if the adults aren't indoctrinated first. So that's obviously not the cause of the rise of Christianity,
Correct.
right? But that doesn't. But okay, so religious indoctrination
Let,
happens one way or another,
yeah.
right? It happens through colonization, missionary work,
Very good question. So I actually have the
and
empirics on this.
it's not a question.
According to the World Religion Database, right, WRD at Boston University, right, they have documented, right, the primary reason why people become Christian. It is adult conversion, followed by, get this, immigration growth, right, where people who are Christian move into immigrate to a different area. So the rise in Christianity is due to
Immigration
that.
is a nice
And then check this
word
out,
for
John. A
colonization,
distant
forced
hang on,
religious
biological growth,
conversion.
John, hang on, sir. Biological growth is a distant third as to why
Biological
Christianity
growth?
grows.
What does that
That's
mean?
what they call it. That includes childhood indoctrination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, someone who's like
if it's a
well
parallel
versed
between
in
sub-Saharan
Not
Africa.
somebody who's a professor, not somebody who's a
the late Roman
professor
It was
Empire.
not the
Yeah.
who was
power
a
structure
professor at
that
Baylor
wanted Christianity in
University,
Africa.
Oh,
right?
Baylor.
Yeah.
There's a mecca of
So
intellectual thought.
who's a scholar who supports that view that's not a Christian, John?
So E.R. Dodds is a scholar. I don't think he doesn't subscribe to that view. He has a much more nuanced view of
Wait, don't talk
Christianity.
around it. He was asked a question.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was for the room.
See, he's doing this thing where he just ignores things that pushes shit
I'm
in. I
asking
don't know what he's
John Lee
doing.
because John Lee took a very strong stand, and all he could cite was Rodney Stark. We can toss that in the trash, right? Until there's some kind of independent support for Rodney Stark's thesis, right? So let's see if he can find a non-Christian scholar who.
He's a
I mean,
professor of sociology.
what I'm hearing from Joshua is political favor is why
Wait,
people
no, but
became.
John,
That's
we're asking you a
utterly
question.
ridiculous. We
We're
don't see.
asking
We
you a
listen.
question.
We we
We're
we
asking you a
see we see
question, John. Why is he not answering
Christianity's
the
growth
question?
in the Scandinavian countries
Yeah,
under
but we're not talking
Lutheranism.
about that right now. We're
Yeah,
not talking about that right
at
now.
Yeah, I
China,
mean,
We're
we can put a
asking
pin
you.
in
We're
your
asking
additional
you.
claims and
We're
come back
asking
to them.
you. We're asking you a
persecution
question.
is part and parcel with Christianity's growth, Jack.
So, John, can you name a scholar?
Have I heard any other scholar? I mean, we're
Yeah, who support?
other than
Name a
Joshua, claiming
non-Christian
political
scholar.
favor. Did he cite
What?
anybody? At
Name a
least I'm citing
non-Christian.
somebody.
Name
No.
a
Hang on.
non.
Can anyone give me one
Why is
scholar?
he doing this?
Can anyone give one
He's just kill
scholar?
screening. He knows he's
Right? You're
caught.
asking for two
Yeah.
scholars
Brain
So,
right
damage.
now,
John,
Jack.
He's so slippery.
can you name another scholar, John? That's
Can
a yes
you
or no
guys even
question.
name one?
Charles Darwin.
On
Is that a no, John?
I think that's a solid
Yeah.
no, Jack.
So
Just to
what I can't
You see, like, I don't know why you would say something like that with
okay.
such confidence,
So
John, when
yeah.
all you
So
had was one scholar who,
okay.
by all appearances, is a crank,
I'll
right?
say it this way, Jack. Okay,
yeah.
you can disregard Stark. That's not a problem with
Yeah.
me,
So who's
right?
the other scholar that
But
supports
what I
that
do
view?
what I hang on, Jack. What I do study is the growth of Christianity around the world
We're not
since
talking about
since
that. We're
Christ.
not talking
What is?
about
Right,
that.
right. No, no,
Yeah.
no. My point is this, right? What happened in
My
the
point is
Roman
completely
Empire
unrelated.
is no different than what happened in the Western world, what happened
That's not what we're discussing right
So,
now.
Oceania,
Yeah. We're
Sub-Saharan
not
Africa,
discussing that.
what's happening in Asia
We're not
today,
discussing that.
right?
We're
What
not
happened in
discussing
Europe,
that.
and so
Yeah.
all I'm saying, Jack, is that there's plenty of empirics on why Christianity grows,
I
and
don't
it is
care.
through
I don't care anything about
evangelization,
that. I
and
only
it's
care about
about
one thing.
adult. Yeah, my point
Christianity
is
is
this,
not growing
okay?
though.
So
Yeah,
I want
but
to know. I want to know the
I
name
already
of
told you no. I
a
don't have another
scholar.
scholar right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I
So
already
then.
answered that for you, okay?
Okay.
But
So then
what I do,
you don't actually have evidence for that claim then.
I have plenty of evidence. I could probably go to the database right now at Boston University and check the World Religion Database and look at Christianity's growth around the
We're
world,
not talking
including the
about
Roman
that.
Empire,
yeah, I mean, this is
including
like first, it's
whether
like
it's
an ad
Russia,
populum argument,
whether
right?
it's
It's like,
China, whether it's
Look,
like I said,
nobody
Sub-Saharan
cares about what
Africa,
you say you could do, right?
South
You do that
America.
all the
I mean, the list goes
time.
on and on,
You
Jack.
say, "Oh, I would argue X," right? And the argument is never forthcoming. So we're not interested in that. We're interested in the name.
Well,
He's talking.
no,
Are you
no,
calling it growth when they go
the
into
source.
a country where people are starving and have food out and say, if you come
Yeah,
and pray with us, we'll give you food?
Jack,
Nah, I don't think that should count.
Jack, what I'm giving you right now is the largest peer-reviewed source about religion on the planet
You're just
Earth.
making a claim that it would be there if you checked it. I'm not
Yeah,
asking you that. I'm
no,
asking
no,
you a
no,
name,
no, no, no.
of a
Hang on, Jack.
scholar who
Hang on, Jack.
provides
It is
independent
not,
support for Rodney
Jack,
Stark's
Jack.
thesis.
It is not the case that you're saying that if I checked it, I have checked it already, just not lately.
I don't care.
This
I
is
want the
something I've
name of a
looked into.
scholar.
Data is something I really look into,
Yeah, I
Jack.
don't believe any.
And
Look,
no,
government
that's
data,
false.
look,
these
I
type
Look,
of
don't believe
sources, right?
Rodney,
anything. You have
You're asking
you
for a
don't look.
scholar. I just
You're
happen
not
to
look,
name
listening.
dude.
Stark.
Look, you're not
That's not
understanding.
my primary
John, you
source.
have to understand.
I
Okay?
haven't even
When
read his
you
book.
John, when you say something, you have to understand. My default assumption is that it's complete garbage, right? So you telling me, "Oh, I look into data," right? I automatically assume the opposite is the case. I've told you this before, right? So it's of no interest to me you saying anything like that about how you've looked into it before.
Right,
I take this kind of thing seriously. Whenever you
right,
say stuff like that, I
and
assume the
right.
opposite. I assume the opposite is true.
Whenever an
So
atheist tells me child
what
indoctrination,
would be?
Jack,
Why are you over talking me? What would be of interest, right, is if you could name another scholar who's not a Christian, not an ideologue, right, who provides independent support for Rodney Stark's thesis.
Well, Rodney Stark doesn't
So
even
I'd like to
support that
respond to
thesis.
that, Jack. First
I
and
mean,
foremost, right? When I hear an atheist spew out that garbage about childhood indoctrination, I throw it in the trash where it belongs because they don't cite a source. They quote Richard Dawkins of all,
I'm
and
not
then so if you're
taking a
talking
So you're
about,
stand on
just
I
gonna
that
don't see
dodge
other
position.
states
I'm not
demanding
taking a
that they
stand on
provide
that
evidence.
position.
They
I'm
just
not taking
begged
a
the
stand on that
question, Jack, and
position.
now you're over talking
why
me.
why doesn't he
I'm not
You're
understand
taking
so
a
you,
stand
Jack?
triggered,
on the
Jack. Why are you
position.
over talking me?
No,
Why
why
are you
doesn't
over
he
talking me?
understand the words that are coming
That's
out of
right.
your
He's
mouth,
triggered,
Jack?
Josh.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
So, John, I'm only interested in one thing, which is if you can find a scholar that can support Rodney Stark's
Yeah,
thesis, who's not a Christian
at least
and not
that's
an
what.
ideologue.
Listen, I'm not asking you to accept Rodney Stark. What I'm saying is that when people make these bogus claims about child indoctrination, they literally
You
provide
keep saying bogus
zero,
claims.
zero
Right. You
scholarly,
keep saying
zero,
bogus claims, right?
zero, Jack.
And we're
So
concerned with
where
your
are the
claim.
sources? Where are the sources?
We're concerned with
Where
your
are the
claim.
You're
sources,
just
Jack?
you're
Look,
just
Give
pounding a
me
look,
one.
table,
John,
Give me
John.
one.
John, so
Stop
do you
pounding a
understand
table.
are you not understanding what's happened here?
He
Right?
doesn't.
You said that's nonsense, right? Christianity was what number did he say? Like 40% at
40,
the time of
mid 40s.
Constantine?
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
Mid
understanding. That
40s.
was
Okay.
yeah.
Fine. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if you're going to make a statement like that with that kind of confidence, you're going to have to do more than appeal to Rodney
Yeah,
Stark.
I don't mind
Well,
being
even
So
if
wrong
he
what I
about
want
appeals
that.
to
to
see,
Rodney
what I
Stark,
want to see is another scholar that you can find, or more than one scholar, right? Because I mean, the fact that two scholars say it, right, isn't going to be reason for us to believe it. I mean, it's going to be strong reason for us to believe it, right, in itself. So I want to see independent support for that claim. Otherwise, I don't understand why you would make it.
I'll say it this way,
Otherwise, I don't understand why you would make the claim with that kind of confidence. Other than
uh,
that, because you're a
Jack.
dishonest person.
Jack, I'll put it
no.
this way, okay? If you're talking about 10% or whatever, 300, going to 50% or whatever, 350 AD, certainly it's not because of baby popping
Yeah,
out
I'm not
babies
interested in
and
you
indoctrinating
saying that
children, right?
something is
So
certain.
even so, hang on. Even in my main thing is to challenge one point, which is bogus, which is utterly bogus, which is that child indoctrination is because why people believe in Christianity.
Yeah,
That's the
Is
that's
because
not what
primary.
I'm
That's
why?
the
concerned with.
primary
That's a
No,
challenge
fact,
that
no
though.
I
one has
That's
make.
not what I'm
no
Now
one
I
has
don't
concerned with.
sit
argued
there
this
like an
point.
atheist and going. I don't sit there like an atheist going, "Where's the source for that?"
Yeah.
Right? Because
So
I've
That's
made
again,
both
part of
John.
your
claims,
problem,
and
John. Maybe if
hundreds
you
of
did that
times, Jack.
a little
So
I
more, you
again,
would have
never
John.
have
fewer
heard
Did you
one
have
scholar
insane
cite it
do
beliefs.
you
ever,
have strong
ever.
justification for the belief that the number of Christians in the Roman Empire at the time of Constantine was in the
Where are the
40% range?
empirics about child
That's a yes or
indoctrination,
no
Jack?
question. It's a yes or no question.
I have the empirics. Biological
So
growth
is
is
that
a
a yes
distant
or a no?
third behind immigration
Is
growth,
that a
right?
yes? I didn't ask you
The
that.
early Roman Empire is no different than what it has
Wait,
been for the last 2,000
why?
years. No
Why
different.
would you
And
say
so
it's no different?
once again, even when you say that 310%, 350 AD, 50% of the Roman Empire, it
Why would you
is
say it's no
through
different?
adult
Why would
conversion.
you say
I don't
it's
know how
no
many times I
different?
have to say
Why
that.
would you say it's no
So
different?
when the language is spewed that it's
Why would you
childish
say it's no
indoctrination,
different?
even that empiric right there from 300 to 350
Yeah,
AD
why do you say
represents
it's no different?
adult conversion,
Why
Jack.
do you say it's no different?
But in those days, you could convert people by the sword. Like, you want to live, be a
Saying
Christian.
that
So
it's different is just
Islam
repeating
did
the
that too.
claim we're asking you to justify.
My only claim, Jack, in all these years, right, is the myth of childish
Did you make the
indoctrination.
claim that it was in Did
I'm
you
very
make the claim
active
that the number of
in
Christians
disproving that.
Did you make a claim that
And
the number of
I'll
Christians
tell you what,
at the
in the
time of
numerous times,
Constantine was in the
Jack,
40% range?
in the numerous times that people have made that bogus claim, I don't just sit there and go, do you have a source for that?
Yeah.
I don't say
So,
that.
did
Do
you
you have
make
a
that claim or
scholar you
not,
can
John?
cite for that?
Did you make that claim or
Right?
not,
Why are you
John?
mocking him?
And so all I'm saying, and then they when I ask them the question, what reason do you have to believe that, right? They start going, well, it's self-evident. They start
Why,
going, well, this and
why,
It's
that.
why are
Did
not
you
you
that
make
having
the
a
crazy of
I
a
why
claim?
are you
claim.
having
Did
a
you
literally,
make the
conversation with
listen,
claim?
Jack,
yourself,
I
man?
Did you make
literally
the
have
claim?
provided the world religion
Did
database.
you make the claim that the number of Christians in the Roman Empire at the time of Constantine was between 40 and 50%?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So neither
You did make
yeah,
that claim.
Yeah, you
I'll
did.
say it
Yeah, you
this
said
way.
over
My
50%.
my my
Yeah.
main claim, Jack, is
Not
that
asking
adult
about your main
conversion
claim.
That's
is
not his main claim.
hang on.
No,
My
your main
claim
claim was
is
that. I
hang
nailed you
on.
down on that.
My
I said,
primary
so the
claim,
claim
Jack, okay?
is, and you clarified what you meant by
Yeah.
mid 40s. That was the main
If
claim.
I was in
Be-
error, I don't have a problem with that, okay? My point is this,
you don't
okay?
have a
My
problem when you're
point
in
is that
error. That's part of your problem as
if it's
well.
far less, my whole point, okay? The discussion began because I got triggered from someone once again spewing the myth of childhood indoctrination, okay? And so that's the primary focus in this discussion. It is a myth, and I could demonstrate that irrespective of whether you think I got numbers wrong in 300 AD or whatever. If you want to focus on that, fine. It's not. If that's all you have to latch
Okay.
onto.
Yeah, so are you
Fine.
retracting that claim, John?
Yeah, it sounds like a full-scaled retreat.
And so my point,
Never let facts get in the face
What was
of a
a
good
yes or no
argument.
question, John?
even if you're claiming from 10% to 50% in 50 years, that necessarily represents child indoctrination. I mean,
Nobody said that.
necessarily represents adult conversion.
Nobody
Yeah,
denied
so wait,
that.
are you retracting the claim, John?
Yeah, I mean, I could retract that claim. Why not?
Okay, thank you.
Now, would
Thank you.
anyone like to support their bogus
Wait, you
claim
actually
about child
retracted a claim.
indoctrination?
Somebody write
Yeah,
that shit
yeah,
down.
John. I'd
Hey,
like to
John Lee,
support
I actually
John.
pulled from Rodney Stark's book, The Rise of Christianity, and I posted a clip of it in chat, pages 4 through 13, where he says he's seen estimates as high as 120 million, but never lower than 60 million, and that's the number that he uses. So that's about, at most, 25%, and almost all scholars think it's about half that, really. Or it seems like recent data is more about 9-10%.
From my understanding, there's about 60 million
So
in
even if you
Rome
went
about
with
that
Rodney
time. Is that
Stark's
correct?
outrageously inflated number, that's 24% of the
No, no, no. I
empire.
mean, I remember looking for other sources at the population of the Roman Empire.
Okay, there's a really good, an
I believe
actual
it's about
academic.
60 million is what I get.
Yeah, that's about double, or a little more than double
So you're
what
saying there was about
current
120 million is
experts
what
say.
you're saying.
No, 60 million is double, so half of that.
Oh, so you're saying that there
So
were only 30
there's an
million
actually a
people in
good
the
book
Roman Empire. Is that what you're saying?
called The Spread of Christianity in the First 4 Centuries: Essays and Explanations in 2005.
Wait a minute. So what are you saying is
That's
the population of the Roman Empire about 350 AD?
I mean, you can look that up, but about
Yeah, I did look it up. That's why
10%.
that's
What's
why I said when I did look it up
okay? So why are you
independently.
asking me?
No. Because you said something about like the numbers. Are you talking about the Christians? I'm not talking about the Christians. I'm talking about the population of the Roman Empire during that time. I have investigated independently, and I got about 60 million. I don't know what you got.
Well, that's
I
Rodney
heard you put
Stark's
out a
number. That's
number
your
about
independent.
120 million.
Well, that's Rodney Stark saying all of the people that he's read, the highest estimates are 120, but he's going to go with 60.
Oh, okay. That's what he
And,
says. Okay. And so,
yeah.
like I said, I've actually investigated independently, and I believe the number I got seems to be about 60 million. I mean, I don't know if you're trying to dispute that or not. I mean, this is just it's really neither here nor there, but that's just my understanding. I was just wondering if you agreed with that.
Well, I agree with the consensus of academics who think it's more in line with 10 to 12%.
No. I'm talking about the population of the Roman Empire.
John, why is it that childhood indoctrination bothers you so much
Oh,
when
because
geographic
it's bogus.
determination?
Whenever I hear, I'll tell you what, it does bother me. I get triggered by it. I have no problem
The
saying that
vast majority of
when
Christians
they
are people
start
with
saying
Christian
they
parents.
just no, when they begin to say, oh, they just believe because their parents taught them or something. I mean, I know a lot of Christians that have not been brought up, myself included, and to pretend
What?
that
But
this is
isn't
the
that
case.
that's a fallacy?
John,
No,
who cares what you know? We're
no.
talking about numbers.
In actuality, even America, people are not believing what they grew up with. If they grew up in the church,
What is that?
even in the last 10 years,
So
12%
because you know a lot of
are
Christians
identifying.
that were adult
Dude,
converts,
John, you have some serious issues, man.
because you know some Christians that were adult converts, it follows that most Christians are adult
I'm not
converts.
talking
That's
about
crazy.
anecdotal evidence, John. I'm referring to the World Religion Database. Okay. These are the
Well, then
empirics I
why did you bring
provide.
up anecdotal evidence? And
Peer-reviewed database. Okay.
I
When
know
it
lots of
shows
Christians that
when
X,
it
Y,
Wait,
and
hold
shows
Z?
on. He
that
retracted his
immigration
statement.
growth,
Come
right,
on.
in a particular region is far above biological growth, right?
I don't
Then
think
it
that's
just
what.
shows that
No, but
childhood
that's not.
indoctrination
No, but
is
that's
not
not
as
the
much as you
issue.
think it is.
No. But it's not the growth of Christianity, right? That's at issue, right? That was the point that Tom brought up, right? The question is the majority of people who are Christians,
Right.
right? Are they Christians because they had Christian parents or not?
Yeah, and the answer to that, as far as my understanding, the answer is no.
Yeah,
But
that
when you
just
look at
seems
Africa, when you look at
seems
India,
crazy.
when you look at
So
all those Christians there,
that's
their
undeniable. That's
parents
like
were
That
not
seems
Christian, Jack. Their
that
Yeah,
parents
that's
seems
were
like
weird.
not
Yeah,
so
Christian. It's
crazy.
as simple
That
as
that's
seems
that.
like
insane.
That's like
so
everyone in South
crazy.
America.
Yeah, it's just like
Like
so crazy, John.
they came to it on their
Like
own. They
it's
didn't
just
get it from their
wild that
parents.
you could
Yeah,
even try to say something
that's
like that.
insanity.
So now where's the evidence for that claim, John?
I just
We're
gave you
not
the
talking
WRD,
we're
okay?
not talking
When
about
you
growth. We're not talking about new converts,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
He
so
also thinks
I'll
We're
like
put it this
talking
way.
about
800% higher than
I'll
the
take the
put it this
population
way.
growth of
entire
China is an
what
impressive number.
percentage
It's not.
of the entire population of Christians today does not have Christian parents? I don't get it.
Oh, you look at China, you look at Africa, and you will find a
What's
majority
the
of them not
percentage?
having Christian parents.
The
Yeah, but
There's
where are
no
entire
you getting
history
that?
of
population of
Christianity in
Christian,
China.
the entire.
You're asking me, listen. If you want to talk about Christians, let's say in China versus the United States, right?
Yeah.
There will be more Christians in
That's not what
China
we're
with
asking.
nearly all
That's
of
not
them.
what we're
Maozo,
asking.
Red
This is a
Bull, you
huge,
name it.
smelly red
And
herring.
so,
Yeah.
so you're asking a
I feel
simple
like he
question,
doesn't
right?
have a good
How
grasp
many
of
Christians
statistics
are
Of course, he
Oh,
Christians
he's
doesn't have a
trying to
because
be
of
good
the
slick
Christian
there he
good
is.
grasp
or
of
or how to
statistics.
read
If anything,
data.
if anything, Jack, Christians are on a mass exodus in the
John,
Western
what was
world,
the
in the United
question I
States,
asked you,
Western
John?
Europe, in the Scandinavian countries.
John,
Why don't you?
He's so
Why?
He
triggered.
doesn't
what was the
know.
Why?
question I asked you, John?
He
So
doesn't know.
the question is, how many Christians are Christian because their parents are Christian, right? If you want to look at the empirics, Jack, you will be astounded to find out a majority of them had non-Christian parents.
I don't know why you're
A
arguing this. It's
majority.
so dumb.
You're seriously saying that the majority of living Christians today
100%.
do not have Christian
No,
100%.
parents?
he keeps he
Okay.
no, he's trying to
Where's the
restrict that to
evidence for
China
that,
maybe?
Yeah,
John?
I
Where's
have
the
the.
evidence for that,
Listen,
John?
when we look,
Tom,
when we
is
look
Tom
at,
hearing this? Is Tom
yeah,
here?
yeah, just check
Tom,
out
are
like,
you hearing this?
yeah, you will find, Jack, right? It's not easy. It's
This is
not
one of the
difficult. When
I
you
most
love how
have
he
insane
just
no,
things.
no, no.
John,
soldiers
give us a
on.
This is one
source.
of the
When you
most
have
insane
Christianity
things John
equivalent
has
to the
ever
biological,
said.
this is
John,
I
beyond
This
love
the
is
how he
one of the
just
beyond the
most.
pale.
This is
listen, may I
yeah.
even
he just
This
finish?
John.
soldiers
I
on,
find
no
This
wild.
is
no
For
just
problem.
sure,
So,
guys.
so,
This is
this
the
is
most
He's
insane
said this
thing
so
he's
many
ever said.
crazy.
times.
so I'm
This
gonna
is
say it this
so
way, Jack.
crazy.
This is
Jack.
insanity.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, it's
so
not
John,
crazy.
It's physically
we
impossible.
want the source.
You guys are
We
so
want the
triggered.
source
Okay.
for the claim, John.
Yeah, I already
Yeah,
told you the
you would
So
have to
world
be
link
religion
it.
database.
mentally ill
When
to
you have,
believe
Link
that.
it.
listen.
Link it.
When you
But
have
John, put a link in
All we
chat.
Christianity,
want is the
Put a
link,
link in
listen.
John.
chat.
All we
Oh
want
yeah,
is the
When
link.
you have
we should not allow him
Yeah,
to
all
talk
we
anymore
want
Jack.
until
is
he
the
presents
link.
evidence.
We want the link.
Yeah. And so when you have Christianity,
Sirius gonna
right,
keep
Where's the
going.
link? Where's the
along the
link?
lines, unbelievable.
It
When you
is
have Christianity
unbelievable.
growing
Just
along,
link
Give
to
us
it,
a fucking
man.
Link,
listen.
link.
John.
I'm on the worldreligiondatabase.org right now. Like
Good.
just link to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
where
it's
is
a
it,
lot.
John?
It's a lot of information.
So what I'm telling you guys is this,
Oh
okay?
Jesus fucking
Uh, uh,
Christ.
We're not asking you that. We're
so
asking you
what?
for a link.
May I even finish?
No, I don't
Okay.
think you
Uh,
So
should finish.
no.
when you
You're
You
have
not
don't.
You've been
You're not.
answering
talking
a
anybody's
pot,
questions.
forever, and you haven't
You haven't
given us
even
any
started.
sources.
yeah. So
You
you're
just
trying to
jump
pull a
from
dark.
thing to
Listen,
thing.
listen. I could
Although
listen.
it's
If you're
very
gonna
interesting
mute
that he
me, I'm not
chose
gonna say
350
anything.
AD, by the
Okay.
way.
You guys are
You're
I
gonna
hope
still not
Tom
saying
is.
pigeonhole
I
my
hope
anything.
Tom is
thing
hearing
for an
this.
argument. This is what you guys do, right? You
So,
You're
guys
like,
not
how
never
saying
many
listen.
anything.
Christians are alive today? Like
This,
a couple of
this
billion?
is
Is
this
it
is one of
3
the
billion?
Haiti. This is one of the most
Is it? I know,
insane
but
Less.
this is
things
what
he's
I don't
ever
understand. He's
said.
saying
It's so
how many
wild.
Christians? How many Christians are there? 2 billion, 3
He's
billion, something like
gonna
that.
be
Does
so
anyone know?
badly embarrassed
John, how
about
many
this.
Christians are there alive today, right now?
I don't know that he's capable of being
Does he know
Oh
that?
embarrassed.
yes, he is.
Because we could. Let's say it's
Yeah?
2 billion. Is
Well,
that
let's
fair?
test it.
Let's say it's
Yeah.
1 billion.
When you look at like China
That Are you going to answer my
exclusively,
question or
right?
not?
They're not.
How many
They didn't.
Christians are alive today, right
Nearly
now?
none of them had Christian parents to begin with.
This
Christians
is
are
just
alive
First and foremost.
today, right
fantastic.
now? Does anyone know? Is it a
Two
billion?
point two point
Then you
three
could
eight
go
billion.
to other
Right.
areas
So
in
you're going to
Asia.
tell me the
Then you could go to
2.38
Africa.
billion
You can
Christians
start adding them up.
had
This is
parents who
why you
weren't
got
Christian?
muted. Be quiet.
Tell me the
And
2.3 billion people
so
had
Stop
parents that were
interrupting.
not Christian when atheism is a tiny, tiny proportion. And most Christians live in the West. Were all their parents Hindus
Yeah,
and Muslims, you moron?
that
that's
is
why
also
Tom asked
incorrect,
him.
Katie.
That's why Tom asked
Uh-huh.
him why it was geographically concentrated in certain areas, right? I don't know how he answered that question. I must have been
He
distracted.
didn't. He didn't.
All
Yeah.
those Mexican
So wait a
Christians
minute.
were their parents Muslims
Yeah.
or atheists.
Even the
Yeah. So
United States,
John,
most
where's the
people don't
link?
know that Christianity in the United States was very low during the Revolutionary War. So
Where
I
are
Oh
see
you
no, a
that
talking
even
about
generation
the
Latin
Oh
ago.
my
Revolutionary
Americans,
god.
War?
all the
This is by
way
far the
to,
craziest thing
This
he's
is
ever
the
He's
said.
not
said this
craziest
because of
thing
This
you've
is
before,
ever
beautiful.
said,
guys. He's
John.
said
It's
this
the
many
craziest thing he's
yeah,
times.
ever
you guys aren't even
ever
No,
listening.
said.
If you
so
guys
Yeah.
dumb.
So
pretend
where's
What
to
was
be
he
nice
saying?
and
He's a
listening.
crazy person.
where?
The
One of the
parents
dates
weren't
I find
Christians.
interesting that he's glommed
I
onto.
mean, the way you
What
One of the
were
guys
dates
are
I
they?
just
found
begging
one of the dates
the
I find interesting that
total
he's glommed
cognitive
onto.
dissonance,
I
right?
like how he's
Oh,
just
It's this
throwing out
Where's
myth
like
is
the
so
link,
cognitive
John?
I
strong.
love
fallacies
how
and
he won't
It's like
fucking
flat
stop
earthers going,
talking.
"What do you mean the
John,
Earth is
one of
round?"
the dates I find interesting that he's glommed onto is 350 AD, or Common Era as it's properly known. Is that when I looked up that specific date, it took me to something that only one scholar, a guy named Russell, had put a book out in 1958, and in that he said there was 39.3 million, approximately 39.3 million members of the Roman Empire in that
yeah.
particular date in 1958. And I can
So
assure you that there's been at least 2 or 3 estimates that have been done since then.
Yeah, but
according to
Gus,
the
If their
world,
parents weren't Christian, I want to know what
do you
religion they
understand
were.
what he's
John,
saying,
John,
Gus?
according to the
Yeah.
World Christian Encyclopedia, 2.7 million convert to Christianity annually from another religion.
Yeah.
Can I try to
And
2.7
you're
supplement what
million.
John
Wow.
is saying?
saying
And there are 2 billion
Yes,
wait, and
Christians.
please.
you're saying that 2.3 billion do not, the majority of them do not have Christian
Look,
parents,
who
where only
needs facts
2.7
when you have the
million per
Spirit?
year convert to
Yeah.
Can I
Christianity.
try to
So
steel man what
you just
John is saying? Or are you guys just gonna
you
get
look
mad at
at
me?
listen, you look at
I know I will.
2.7 million, right? And you multiply that just by several
Yeah.
years.
Because
What?
yeah,
Um,
that's how
Well,
it
now we're
works.
going into the future.
That's not how it works,
yeah,
man.
you will get hundreds of millions.
You will?
You
you
will
What?
guys
get
are
So
not
what?
hundreds
He's
of
understanding.
saying that
The only
the majority of Christians didn't have Christian parents. He's saying.
yes,
yeah.
the
Yes.
That's
only
Okay,
reason
correct.
the
so
only
well, I think
reason
what
he thinks
John is
this.
trying to say is, see, he's just talking about real Christians, like the elect that are getting to heaven, and
Yeah,
almost like
I'm just
99%
talking
of the
about
population
Western
isn't
Christians.
getting into heaven.
Okay.
I thought you were
They're
Whoa.
not
No,
getting into
No,
he's
heaven.
talking
So,
no,
about
that's not
Christians
what
most
he
in
said.
most of the
general.
elect,
That's
they're
not what he's
Nice try.
saying,
He's
Godless.
talking about
No.
Christians in general because we talked about it before, and his only qualification was that they believe Jesus is Lord, and so that's his
believe in the
only qualification
resurrection.
for them to be
Yeah.
considered Christian. Yeah, believe in the resurrection. The only reason he believes this is because it happened to him, right? His parents were atheists, and he grew up to become a Christian. So he thinks that that's like totally
Well, that's not the
normal.
only reason he
Yeah, that's
believes
not
it.
the
It's
Well,
only
because
reason.
he doesn't like the idea of childhood indoctrination
yeah,
in
yes.
the
Yeah, that's the
That's
reason he's
correct.
explanation.
Yeah.
motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he
That
admits it.
because that casts
Yeah.
doubt
And
on the
I've looked into it as
rationality
well.
of
I think
Christian
I think
belief,
it's a myth.
Why?
right?
I think it's an atheist myth.
It seems like that
It's
has
an
Supported by
nothing.
atheist.
Yeah,
orthodoxy
I don't know. It's so
primarily.
weird.
John, if you were standing in front of me, I would
And
slap you
atheists
right
do
now.
get triggered
Wait,
when they
he
In
see
just
Minecraft.
that
bit
the
the
facts.
bullet and agreed with Jack on his like bad reasoning.
Bad
I would slap
reasoning.
him with a
I'm the one that
tortilla.
brings
Like,
the
Wait,
I don't
Tom
like the
Tom
verification.
is
idea of
just
childhood
not going to
indoctrination.
believe what he's saying. Like he's just not going to believe how crazy what he's saying is.
It's so crazy because it's math. It's not like
It is
I
He
math.
converted
cherry
because
picks
of book
statistics all the
glowing and
time.
stuff.
Cherry pick
He cherry
statistics,
picks statistics.
but this is not
I'm
even
just saying
cherry
No.
picking
he's
statistics. This is
he's
so
misunderstanding.
insane.
Right.
Look,
I understand.
he's
He's
talking about
insane.
2.3 billion people. right? It can't be the case if there's only
2.7?
2.7 million
Like,
2.7
this
conversions
is a fucking
to
nail in the
annually.
coffin.
Christianity.
Just
It's
retract
not
your
We
claim,
fair.
we
John.
need to have John
It
Baker
can't
acted.
be that the majority of those cases of people being Christians is
So
because of adult
it's
conversion.
the case that you
That's
either agree with the
insane.
world religion database or you disagree. Which is it,
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
Yeah, John, which is it?
John, this is insane, dude. This is not
Oh
a
my
good look.
god, this is the most insane thing that John Lee has ever said. I just can't even believe it.
Can I just say,
Had you
hey,
ever done
Tom
that
I'm
math,
like
John?
Rabbit?
I'm checking the date.
Have
Oh
you
my
ever
god,
It's
done
like
that
April
math,
Fools or
John?
something.
Tom is gonna flip out when he hears this.
Had you ever looked at that math, John? Thought about the conversion
Oh,
and the
he
overall
looks at. Oh,
population?
if there's one thing that John Lee takes very seriously, it's statistics.
Yeah, and atheists have none when they just
John,
presume
do you
No,
What
he
do
think
you
that the
just
mean? He
reason a
just
lot of
pulled
pulled a
the
Come
stat
on.
numbers.
from
no.
your
He
source.
just pulled the stat from your source and gave you the numbers that make your argument irrelevant.
No,
It's
he
impossible
didn't refer
mathematically.
to the World Religion Database, by the way.
Yes,
Now
they
No,
he's
did.
he
going to
just
go into
He
cited
this
told
the
you.
weird
the
The
Trump
Christian
mode where he's
Encyclopedia or
just going to
something.
deny everything.
He
look,
referred to the World
this
Christian
is
Encyclopedia is what he did.
which and their data is included online in the World Christian Database. All
Do
right,
you guys believe in
it's your
reality?
sources, guys.
Come on.
It's like, come on, man.
John can't be
You're not gonna say that the
serious,
World
right?
Christian Database is like,
Oh my god.
come on, man. Come on, give it
Like,
up.
this is
John.
too
Just back
crazy for
away.
This might
That's
John.
the
be
craziest.
worse than agape love.
You
This
need
is
like
just
a,
He
so
will
bad.
a
never
Tom,
back down
metaphorical
from
Tom,
this. He
smoke
will
bomb.
never
Tom.
ever back
Oh
down
my
from this.
god, Tom has no idea.
I'm worried about you, John Lee. I'm worried. Are you
Oh my
okay?
god.
You got Jack laughing like a damn fool. You know you said something that really fucking stepped in it.
It'd be like the equivalent of saying that people in America don't primarily speak English because their parents spoke English. Like,
No,
Right.
no, they came to it on their
But
own.
they were born into something
They're-
else.
yeah.
That's why Esperanto is the single largest growing language in the world, next to Pig Latin.
yes, we discovered it as adults.
Wait, what was that statistic he said about 800% higher growth than China's population growth? Something
Population
like
growth,
that?
that's correct.
Yeah, what was
800%
that
of the
statistic?
For
Can you repeat
population
it?
growth rate.
That the
So,
rate of Christianity, of Christian
no.
growth in China is 800% higher than China's population growth?
That's correct. That's
That's because
well,
exactly
China
correct.
bro,
has
that means
shitty
that you pretty
population
soon there'll be
growth.
more Christians than Chinese.
Yeah, no, it just means China has shitty population growth, not that Christianity is true.
No, if you look at the charts, I think about 1991. I think
Look,
that's where I start to
Wait,
look
why
at
are
it.
you talking now? Well, you didn't
Yeah.
address the fact that the
So
math
so
was used
you
to disprove
you
your
have about a
claim from
billion
your
some people.
source.
There
Why are
is
you miking up now?
There's a
there is
look,
some
well,
truth in what he's saying
yeah,
in that
dude.
for about a 10-year period, starting just at around 1991 and tapering off near the turn of the last century, that Pentecostal Christianity and Roman
those
Catholicism
Pentecostals.
was serious on the serious rise in China. Now, like I said, I don't know what the stats are
Okay,
now. I haven't heard them, but we're still not looking at
okay.
800 fucking percent
Do,
for
Well,
do
fuck's
I
you know
think
what?
sake.
it's true that
China's
worldwide.
population growth rate is 0.3%. 0.3%
Does
Wrong.
annual
someone have
growth rate.
Mutis blocked? She's trying to get in.
Who is that?
That Muslim, culturally
Well,
Muslim chick.
she hardly ever talks.
I know. I don't
She
know
must
why
have
someone would have her blocked. She says she can't get in right now.
I
Who?
don't
Who's
think I
blocked?
blocked her.
Udas, the chick with the pic of Lindsay Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
Lindsay Wagner.
Why would I
Jesus.
have blocked her? Is she like an idiot?
Well,
It's hard to tell.
Have you blocked John Lee?
No.
All right. All right, folks, I gotta go. I gotta go make dinner or something. Walk my
Oh my
dog or
God,
something like that.
Yeah, go wash some
Tom.
of
Have a
this
good one.
off you, Joshua.
Thanks for the content, Josh. Fuck.
It's just my first day as an atheist, though. You know,
Don't worry about Toast.
referring back to the
Toast
beginning.
is a moron. Don't listen to Toast.
Yeah, that hurt,
John,
man. That hurt.
John,
Cheers.
So I'm usually tuning the John Lee stuff out. So I don't know what happens, but will he like stick to this claim forever, or will he eventually
No, he'll
recant
stick
it?
to it forever. He'll
Oh,
stick to it
he'll
forever.
never back
Wait,
down.
was that
This is
Tom?
it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Tom, did you hear what he said?
Well, I heard the beginning of it, and then I fired up the YouTube
Tom,
stream, and I treated it as like
Tom,
a fire and
no,
forget
Tom,
missile. So
no, Tom, you have no idea. I mean, he what he said was crazier than anything he's ever said by miles. You're just not going to believe it. You're not going to believe
yeah,
what he
this is the
said.
craziest.
It's the craziest thing he's ever said, Tom. You're just not going to believe it. He wants to say that the majority of Christians are not Christians because of childhood indoctrination, right? And he was trying to cite the World Religions Database, I think it's called, and so we looked up how many Christians there are, and it's like 2.3 billion, and only 2.7 million per year are converts to Christianity. So he wants to say that the fact that most people are Christians is not due to the fact that their parents are Christian.
Right. And no, hang on.
I
What
thought
I
his
was
claim was
talking
even.
about
Do you
was
understand
growth.
this?
Yeah, what I was talking
Do you
about was
understand how
growth.
crazy that
Now,
is,
if
Tom?
No, the claim
no,
was
hang
even
on.
crazier than
Yeah, I
that,
thought he
right?
said that child indoctrination
Unbelievable.
period is a myth, not even with respect to Christianity.
Right. No,
No, no, no. But
yeah.
the crazier part of it
Christian
was didn't
growth.
mention indoctrination. It was just that most living Christians do not have Christian parents.
Yes, that's right. He said most
Let
living.
me put
He
it this
said
way,
most
right?
So
living Christians do not have
Yeah,
Christian parents.
No, you're not
that's right.
listening to what I'm saying. Okay,
That's a
so
Jesus
stretch.
Christ.
may I even finish? You guys are laughing at something I'm not even saying. First and foremost,
You were
if a
saying it a
pair of
minute ago.
Christians, if a pair of
Tom's gonna
Christians
have to go
have,
to the
like, let's
tape.
say, may
Yeah.
I even finish? So if a pair of Christians
Oh,
have like 3 children, let's say, right? Well, that's population growth rate, right? And then so if all 3 of the children are a Christian, then you can add 1 to that Christian growth rate, so to speak, right? And so in that particular source with the 2.7 million, it'll say right here, it says that
perfect.
Pentecostalism, a Protestant Christian movement, is the fastest growing religion in the world. This growth is primarily due to religious conversion, right? And so that's
Yeah,
yeah,
but
what
we're
that's
we're
not
talking
correct.
talking
about.
about growth.
Do you know what ratio? Do you know what proportion of all Christians are Pentecostal? Like pointing out that there's one subgroup of
It's
Christians
pretty
that are
big.
growing primarily, but
It's pretty big. It's
no, it
about
isn't. That are growing
it's about
primarily due to conversion is not going
I
to support your
believe
claim very much at all.
it's about maybe 500 million. Is that about right? About Pentecostals?
John, you have never
I think it's a
made a
bit
more
less. I think it's
extravagant
like
claim
300, but yeah.
So
ever.
what I was talking about, right? Once again, in case you guys weren't listening, I was talking about conversion growth, right? As opposed to
Hmm.
biological growth. There's a difference. We're talking about growth.
No,
Okay,
your
well,
claim was
Right.
by 2050,
I'll give you an
China will be
example.
dominated by Christians, right?
I'll give you an example. 2030. It's just say 8 years from now. China will be the most populous, not by percentage, but it'll surpass the United States. Currently, the United States is the most populous Christian nation in the world. China is going to exceed that by 2030 by having 300 million Christians out of their 1 point whatever billion people they have. Right? That's a big percentage in terms of since 1991, and it's not because of the political power. In fact, they persecuted
So you
there.
think China
And
makes up all of the 2.7 million converts per year?
no.
Yeah.
What you guys
Oh,
are
so So it's significantly less.
We're talking about growth, okay? That's what I'm talking
All
about.
right.
I mean, like Christianity
I'll
is
give you
new to China,
I'll
though. I
give you
mean,
a good
it's not like people. It's not like people don't think. I mean, it's like being at the port, and as everybody's coming off the Mayflower, the guy is like with the checklist is going, wow, every single one of these people is an immigrant.
That's another myth, Tom. In
Yeah, but
1776,
Tom,
right? Yeah, the population of the Christians in the United States, I believe, was like 23% only. It peaked about 1940 or so at I
Wait,
believe
what
like
was the myth
70
that I
some
just
percent.
said? Because I said
Oh,
something, and then you said
because you're
that's
thinking
another.
it seems to me that you think that everyone that came to America into the colonies came on the Mayflower, and this pilgrim is a Christian. Check. Oh, look, 100% of
No, I
them are
said
Christian.
immigrant. I said immigrant.
Right. And so actually what you have is a sort of immigration growth into the United States, right? As far as
Right.
Christianity in the United States.
Did you miss the
That
fucking metaphor there, buddy?
I guess you just missed the whole point, but like maybe like the closest thing I can think of is like Scientology has grown, but probably there's not much Scientology indoctrination because it's like new, right?
so what
yeah,
what
but
I am
Tom,
trying
the
to yeah.
majority of living Christians do not have Christian parents.
Yeah.
We're talking
No,
Yeah,
about
I
no,
mean,
no,
I
no,
don't.
no,
2.3
no, no, no,
billion
no.
people.
No. That's not what I'm saying, Jack. So what I'm saying is
No,
that
but
when
that's what you
Christians
said. I was even there
no, no,
for
no.
that.
That is
Yeah.
what you said,
So
John.
so so what I'm saying is this, okay? When a pair of Christians have two children, there is no Christian growth. They're just maintaining their population. And so if it is the case that whether in let's say ancient Rome, they have these Christian parents have two children, and then those children have two children, let's say, and then you're not going to have any growth at all in Christianity. The only way that can happen is conversion. I don't know how many times I have to stress that. Adult
Wait,
conversion.
but you could have more than two children. What do you mean?
Yes, and that's what I'm
And
saying.
those
And
children
then
can have
and when
children.
you do have more than two children, Jack, that's what's called population growth rate. Okay, what I'm
Yeah, but
saying,
the average
what yeah, and so when you look,
the
I'll
average
give you a very good example. When you look at sub-Saharan Africa, where Muslims have the highest population growth, followed by Christians. No. Followed by traditional African religionists, and Christian growth rate in sub-Saharan Africa is a full, I believe, percentage or a full unit or whatever less than the other two. And you will find, I can show you the graphs since 1900, that Christianity began lower than Islam, far lower than traditional African religions, which is about 70 some percent. That's a lot. And right
Does anything
now,
turn on what he's saying right now?
so
Wait.
but
You mean in North
bottom
America?
line is Christianity's growth in sub-Saharan Africa anyway is primarily due to adult conversion.
Wait, weren't we talking about North America
We're
and the
not.
Puritans a minute ago?
wait, wait,
Uh,
you'll like there's actually a Pew Research study that predicts between 2010 and 2050 Christianity will lose over I think it's supposed to say like 60 million people by conversion alone,
Uh-oh.
right?
Yeah, I mean I know you're citing Pew because of the date range 2010 to 2050. If you look at Pew, atheism is in global decline. The unaffiliated will
What did
go
I
from
say about
16%
atheism?
to
What?
13. Yeah, I'm just saying it'll go from 16% to 13%.
wait,
Wait,
but
Of
what the
which,
fuck does that have to
hang
do with what
on.
Detroiter just
I don't
said?
give a
Now,
No.
fuck.
What does
What?
now
that
with
have to do with what
yeah,
Detroiter just
now
said?
because there's a lot of
Uh,
reasons for this. Because one, there's another myth being put around that
what does
atheism is
that have
somehow
to do?
growing. Yeah. So,
Um,
I'm just stating that there's
Just
this
talking about
myth that
something else. I don't.
atheism is
Who
somehow
gives a fuck?
yeah. No. You cited Pew, right? I know you cited Pew because of the
I
date
literally
range. And what
said
I'm saying is
Pew. I
according to
said Pew.
me because he said
okay. Yeah. So my point is this, okay? According to Pew, right, the unaffiliated represents 16% of the world population. Only 12% of the unaffiliated are atheists, representing a mere 1.8. Well, actually, back then it was about 2.3%. It is currently about 1.8% of global population, right? Those who identify as atheists, and it's been shrinking. It's actually projected to 2050.
What does that have
Why
to
are you
do?
talking about
It's
atheists?
Yeah,
supposed to.
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Christianity is going to
I'm
lose.
skeptical of that, but I don't care. What does that have to do with anything?
1.6%.
Why didn't you just start talking about the price of tea
Yeah.
in China? Like,
Now,
what does that have to do with
now,
anything?
yeah. But my point is
Are
this,
you
okay?
fucking
Now it can
triggered
be argued
because
that
it's something that Christianity
atheists
is getting
don't have
smaller that you're going to talk
atheists don't have
atheism?
This is
children.
like a psychotic breakdown.
This is
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
mean, you guys
Now
are
you're
so
going to say
triggered.
atheists don't have
Yeah.
children?
So you guys are so well. No,
What is
that's
wrong with
the
Atheists
you?
do have
assertion.
smaller birth
Well, part of
rates
the
That's
significantly.
the
part of the
assertion by
problem,
the
John, is that every
atheist.
time we ask you a question, you wander off to another topic.
So that is assertion by
I
the
honestly
atheist
think
that
you need a break.
somehow you guys are so triggered. That's not even funny,
Who's a
man. You guys don't even have
trigger?
a
We're all
civil
just fucking around
conversation.
here, but you're the triggered one.
You have like 4 or 5 people just over talking me every time, literally.
You're
Because you're
machine
wandering
gun
around in
talking,
circles
John.
Yeah, no,
conversationally.
I'm
You're not
actually
answering
not. I'm
questions
actually not
directly.
machine gun talking.
John, how do
You're
you
wandering around in
So how
circles.